Hi, this is Jan from Log Cabin Leather, and I'm here again to talk a little bit about my beginnings and how I started making the hand-tooled geometric designs I have on my leather products. Again, next month I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how I actually got started in leatherwork altogether, and a little bit more about the two companies that helped me get my beginnings and how they were important to me along the way. After I discovered those first two, I discovered Tandy Leather, and that was in Saugus, Mass. My parents lived in Wakefield. That was like 20 minutes away, so not far. I didn't have a car then, so this was something, when I was in college, I would go home, borrow my mother's car, go to Tandy Leather. Well, again, this is a Tandy catalog now, but what I discovered in Tandy Leather were the tools to do leather work. Now, what I started with was a kit, and it had what was called the Basic 5 set of tools, and that's how I got started. And so it was a little kit, and it came with some projects. This is the kit that they have today, and basically it came with a couple little things, the key ring, what they call the coaster or whatever. It didn't come with a wallet like that. It came with the change purse, a luggage tag was something that was typical back then, and so forth. And so that is what got me started. At that store, I also discovered all sorts of other things that I could have. It was like, Christmas. Anytime I was in there, I could have spent $100. Of course, I was on a budget from college and so forth, so I didn't have a lot of money. So what little I had, I would save up and to buy things. So these were some of the books I discovered there, along with the tools. And these really helped me on my way to all the geometric designs I make today, which, of course, I don't have a single sample in front of me right now. So making the designs, deciding how to line them up. So all that came from those books. So today I'm actually going to do a little demonstration. And I have basically... these are the tools from that first kit, which are still good today. Came from Tandy. Back then, that was the only place I knew that you could get the tools, and again, it was close by, and this is called the swivel knife. The swivel knife, and now a lot of these tools, this kit was a mixed tool kit of carving pictures, doing more like, the floral designs that are on, if you can see that, on that. That's not the kind of designs I like to make the flower here. That's not something I like to make. Those are, this is where these books really excelled for me, because they were geometric designs. Now, the issue with that is I didn't have a lot of the tools for these. The tools that the pattern showed. It will show you step by step how to make the pattern. Now, again, I learned to color things differently, make my own patterns, so that's what I'm going to do today. And a lot of my patterns are made up just random. I am going to have to switch this camera around, and that could cause some issues, so hopefully it won't, because I'm going to set the camera down on my table so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so here I am in my workshop, and here is my piece of leather. I am wetting it. Now, some other tools I learned to get along the way that happen to come from that book is what I use to scribe the line along the edge of the belt here. And that's important. I do that on all the belts because, number one, that's where I line up the tools. Another tool that I use is what's called wing dividers. And these I set for the center of the belt, which I should have done ahead of time. So I got to get it measured out, so it's going to be about the center. And I lightly scribe a line down the center. Most of my designs are based on the center. Now, again, I'm using my basic tools here. I'm not going to use the swivel knife. I'm going to stick that one back up here. We have a beveler. That's to do the flowers around the edges to make the animals and things on carved scenes stand out. We have a little center flower thing. I will use that. This one, I'm not 100% sure that was part of my original kit, but I'm going to use that because that's going to help me make some some nice designs. That was one of my original tools I had. Yeah. This one was an original tool. It's kind of a crescent. This is one of my favorites, and again, these are called veiners, and they would do the center of the flowers, but again, I use them in the geometric designs, and those are still some of my favorites. And then this is, again, to do the center of the flower to make it more symmetrical, give it more depth. That I'm not going to use either. So I've got 3 tools that I'm putting aside, and I have the 4 tools left here that I'm going to use to make this design. So you have to wet leather, so this is wet. Again, I have to hit this so I can't. So I'm not going to hit the camera. See, that's my problem. I have this in the way so I can hit it. I can't see what I'm doing. Maybe I should have my other light on over here. So I have this line down the center. So see, I'm trying to line my tool up on that line. And again, this is a little harder to do on camera because with the camera right in front of me, I can't get a good firm bang. And I would just make up, and I try things. And see, that was a little bit wider than my space. A lot of designs you would turn and so forth like this as I'm doing it, so that and since most of my designs would have these veiners in it, almost all my designs would have these. So now see, how I do my designs is what I call touch points. I am touching the edge of that other tool, and that is where my design is beginning, ending, things like that. So it's all lined up. It's touching the last little line of this tool. So it is touching the edge of that and the edge of the line on the edge of the belt, which is why I have the line. Sorry. Again, it's very hard to do this and have it. I can angle the camera up a little bit more, maybe. And so that's the design I've created, and then I would go from there and continue on. And now with other tools I have today, and I could use this one in here, I'm not sure how that would look. With other tools I have today, see, that's kind of, so that's not really something great on this design, although it doesn't look too bad. Sometimes I might, I'm touching the edge of that one, touching the edge of this one. Touch the edge there. Touch the center here. Again, hard to do without hitting the camera. Alright, so see, that's it. That's how I make up my designs. Now, typically, to make it faster, I will, if this is the design that's going to repeat and I have maybe something in between, I might measure where that dot is each time and stamp that down the center. And then I can stamp the other things around it and make the pattern faster. So that's pretty much how I make my belts. Discovering these tools at Tandy were one of my best discoveries. See if I can pick this camera up with it. So here are some of the tools here. Now I have many, many more sets of them. My carving tools are up there. That's a whole set of tools just to carve pictures. I have another whole set of stamps here. And so forth. So all these tools are used to do the leather work. And I first started making belts and so forth for my dad. I discovered these books. I needed to, make something for somebody. So it was belts for my father. Some of which I still have today, which I've shown in other videos. Again, I just stuck them over the side there. I didn't bring them over here now. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for now. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing, I will be launching a new belt line this summer. Prior to that, I will be launching my spring jewelry collection in March. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing and be the first to see it, you want to join my email. So there will be a link somewhere, again, depending on what you're watching this on, where you can join my email and become a VIP insider. And then you'll have early bird access to any of my sales and so forth, and launches and everything like that. So also I have a sale once a month, which is the third Wednesday of the month. So that will be coming up next week. So maybe you can join me then, and you'll see some of the products that clearance that are going to be archived until next year, or maybe discontinued altogether. I'm still kind of formulating that plan. That's going to wrap it up for now. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.